Good morning and welcome to Rise in 9. It's Thursday, January 15th.
Yeah, and feeling like more like January again. Not just the temperatures, we're also talking about some snow.
Yeah, unfortunately. We walked into the studio this morning and I heard AJ talking about snow. I don't know why it caught me off guard. I know they've been talking about it, but we just haven't seen it in a while.
Right, it was 50 degrees. We thought we were done with winter, but we're not.
Yeah, mentally I was done and am done, but here we go.
Yeah, and not a huge widespread thing. AJ was just saying it's a trace to 2 inches in isolated areas, but it's just been a while since we've had to talk about snow or think about it.
Yeah, and it doesn't take a lot, obviously, for the roads to get slick. So just something to be aware of this week and even into the weekend.
Yeah, and those really cold temperatures, too. It's a low of like 2 degrees overnight this weekend.
It's such a big change. It was just a high of 50 earlier this week. I mean, to have the high be in the teens this weekend, that is just such a swing.
Right, and then the wind, too. It just, from the north, when I was on my walk with my dog yesterday, just turned the corner, I'm like, oh, we are done now.
Yep,
right in my face.
There it is. I know. It makes it hard when it's on your back on the way out. You're like, oh, it's not so bad. You turn around and, yeah, it is pretty bad.
Yeah, it was layered up and everything. No fun.
Yeah, so maybe it's a good day to stay inside.
Right, exactly.
So that'll be nice. Also today, it is the last commercial air service flight for Dubuque. That's happening this morning.
Yes, and this is happening because the City Council voted to terminate the contract with the airline last month. That was with Denver Air Connection. It had been offering those daily flights between Dubuque and Chicago since November 2024.
Yeah, the flight was originally supposed to take off earlier this morning, but will be happening, is it 8:30?
So they're hoping, the airport told TV9 that the plane is supposed to get to the airport around 8:15 and that the flight could take off as early as 8:35, so we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, we'll definitely be watching that today. But yeah, big change there in Dubuque.
Right, and flights had been about 50% full, but they wanted to get to 80% full to be self-sustainable, and it didn't meet that goal.
People have told TV9 the community will be worse off without having the air service. Realtors said, quote, "It was just the easiest way to get from here to there and then on to my next destination with no trouble at all. I'm really going to miss it."
Right, and this has been a story that TV9's Keegan Turnbow has really covered closely, so we'll continue to follow what happens today with that last flight.
Yes, also something we want you to be aware of today. The CDC says that there is a salmonella outbreak that's tied to the super green supplement powder, and that has been detected here in Iowa.
Yeah, 45 people have gotten sick, including right here in Iowa. So that product, if you have it, it's called Live It Up Super Greens Supplement Powder, and the CDC says it may have that salmonella contamination.
Yeah, thankfully no deaths have been reported from this, but officials say if you do have this supplement powder, you should either throw it away or return it to the store that you bought it from. Again, this is affecting 21 different states, one of them being Iowa.
Right, and then also today, we have more information on that I-380 shooting that happened just a couple weeks ago on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, you may remember this because there was quite the law enforcement presence there on I-380 near the Tower Terrace exit in Hiawatha. But we're learning more kind of about what happened before all of this. We knew that there had been a carjacking that happened in Cedar Falls, but we didn't really know all of these details.
Right, and we knew it was at a Marine recruitment office. But yeah, and now the man accused is also facing federal charges. He had faced 13 state charges, including attempted murder of a peace officer, a very serious charge.
So these new court documents reveal that federal prosecutors charged him with assault of a federal officer or employee. They say there was a struggle between Reese and the recruiter when he got to that Marine Corps recruitment office in Cedar Falls, and that Reese then pulled out a gun and demanded the recruiter's SUV and then pepper sprayed him before taking off in that SUV, which of course then eventually stopped in the kind of median there on 380 in the Cedar Rapids area.
Right, if you remember that chase went from Cedar Falls all the way to Lynn County when that officer, the Lynn County Sheriff's deputy, saw that car in the SUV near Center Point. Then that happened near Tower Terrace. There was a crash, and then there was officers fired at the man after the man is accused of firing back at them. The suspect was shot and was hospitalized for a while before he was charged, and now he's going to be in court again on Friday.
Yeah, but thankfully no officers were injured in that incident or any citizens there driving on 380.
Right, so we'll continue to keep you updated on that court case as it proceeds.
And Brian Tabak had an interesting story that first aired last night about smoke shops. And he was trying to answer the question about whether the increase in the number of vape shops is creating a bigger problem with youth smoking.
Right. Vape's a relatively new thing. So state lawmakers and police officers are trying to control and make sure that no one maybe start smoking if they don't really want to.
Yes, and so they have this program, the state of Iowa does, called I Pledge, that they're hoping cuts down on the underage use of smoking and vaping. So Brian actually spoke with a vape shop, a smoke shop here in Cedar Rapids called Central Iowa Vapors. The CEO there said they keep a really close eye on who's buying products that are intended for people 21 and older. In fact, they have a 21 plus policy at their store. And so if they suspect anybody that comes through the door is younger than 21, they ID them as soon as they come in.
Right. And they're able to do that because everything in the store is for 21 and older. Well, the owner of that business mentioned that if you're at a convenience store or any other store that sells other things, you are not able to do that. It's a different process.
And all 13 locations of Central Iowa Vapors go through this I Pledge program with the state. They go through this online training course, and then because of that, Cedar Rapids Police Department, they do these I Pledge checks, and so they actually go out to 128 different retailers every single year in the city to check for compliance and making sure they aren't selling to minors.
Right. That's what the overall goal of just educating people about what the law is and that the law is being followed.
Yeah, and so Cedar Rapids Police work with people who are actually underage to go into these shops to see if they can buy something. And police say that if the store asks the minor, how old they are, they do need to reveal their own age. Police emphasize, this is not a gotcha situation, but they do want to check for compliance, especially, when these shops have gone through this training.
Right, and also identify themselves.
Correct.
And a fun story that our TV9 sports department put together about a bowling program.
I loved this story so much. This was Colin Davies' story. I want to check it out on our website. But Superstar Special Olympics a few times a year gives middle schoolers the chance to go out and compete in bowling.
Yeah, over 10 schools participated, and they all looked like they were having so much fun doing this. It was amazing moments that Colin captured.
Yeah, and this has grown pretty quickly because Superstars Olympics says that it's tripled its participation from when it began just 4 years ago. 100 athletes showed up then, and this time there were over 300 there.
Yeah, and it started to get kids involved in Special Olympics. It's such an amazing program to get kids active and moving and learn things like teamship and just have sportsmanships and teammates and just have a good time too.
Yeah, in this story, is mentioned, how many opportunities there are for high schoolers, but this goal is to kind of get these middle schoolers involved at a younger age. He had a quote from McKenna Cock who said, quote, "To be able to do it at the middle school levels, we can get them involved, included, make new friends at an earlier age so that when they get to high school, they're already used to that level of inclusion and friendship. It's really special." And we saw that. I know one of the people that Brian spoke with said, "I made so many friends today."
I know. They were so excited and they weren't deterred by how things went. One young man was like, "I'm going to get a strike," and then he bowls up and it was not quite a strike, but he still looked like he was happy.
It's easy to be very confident bowling. It doesn't look so hard. It is hard.
Yeah, exactly. But everybody was like smiling and laughing, just having a good time there.
Yeah, Colin did such a great job with that story. Loved getting to see that this morning.
Yeah, maybe a good weekend to go bowling with those cold temperatures.
Yes, my family did that recently actually because it was on one of those kind of colder weekends and we just happened to have a free Saturday. And after the holidays of having every weekend busy for so long, you get a free Saturday and you're like, what do I do? I'm used to having every minute busy. So we took the kids bowling and they loved it. It's something for all ages.
Yeah, we went bowling, I think it was November, with a big group of friends. It was nice to catch up, and even the little kids can take part and have a good time too with the adults.
Oh yeah, we were helping my daughter push the ball down because all the little ramps were taken. There were a lot of families there, but they do have those ramps over at Cedar Rapids Bowling where you just put the ball at the top and it just basically slides down.
Right, maybe I need one because I am so terrible at bowling. My husband even put up the bumpers for me. I was like, "Did you do that?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, I'm not really that competitive though. It doesn't bother me if I don't win. I'm like, I would like to be better, but it's all right. I'm having a good time, even if I am getting bumper and going into the gutter all the time.
I know. I could use the bumpers. We had them up for the kids. I didn't put them up for myself because I am very competitive. And I was like, no, my husband's not using them. We got to see who gets the higher scores. He won.
Right.
He beats me at everything.
Yeah.
Except running. I have the one thing.
That's your one thing. There you go.
Yeah, we all need that.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us this morning for Rise at 9.
Have a great day.